got another Mound Visit for you here this week, and we are excited to bring it to you here. Brought to you by Believe Productions. We are Mound Visit. I'm Casey Honigbaum, joined as always by the man who needs no introduction, 15-year Major League veteran, all-star closer Jason Grilli, coming to us from rainy Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania today.
Yeah, me and all my bone chips, buddy. I'm always here. I'm always here to just defragment some mindless and some irrelevant information to get out of our minds.
That.
I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of stuff we got to get off our chests, and I hope that we bring you guys some joy, we bring you guys some laughter, and just a different way to remix whatever you're tuning into, whatever you listen to. Hopefully our frequency is frequent in your podcast list, and you like what we have to bring and say. And some of our guests, man, we got a good lineup coming up.
Yeah, we do.
For the new. What do we say?
The new wave.
The wave. The new wave of the enhanced,
the elevated mound. Yeah. We moved the mound back.
Visit because
could we say, or should we say we moved the mound forward? I don't know. You know, what's the?
I'm gonna say we're moving on up. You know, the Jeffersons theme song.
There you go. I like that.
Somebody liked us enough to say, hey, they believe, so they made us part of Believe.
That.
They made us a part of Believe. The Believe Productions.
If you believe.
So thanks to our friends over there.
If you believe in the show as well, drop a subscribe, drop a follow to the show. You can watch us on YouTube, and also you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast. So be sure to follow us, give us a like, subscribe to the show, and let us know what you like and what you don't like. Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like Grilli's hat this week, if you liked his hat better last week, let us know. But we got a lot coming at you. So what do we got this week for the...
Well... first of all, we're going to make some gear, Mound Visit gear like this. This is Sweet Hands. It's a friend of mine. Makes batting gloves, golf gloves for baseball, golf, and all that. So we're going to come out with some memorabilia. So stay tuned. Everybody likes a good hat. New swag. We're going to be swaggy. Yeah. We have to. We got to step up our game. And for the fans who do subscribe, for the fans who have been loyal, for the fans who participate, we're going to start having some giveaways and fun stuff in the near future, but we gotta stay relevant. We gotta keep the content going, and we gotta talk about stuff that you want to talk about. And let's talk about we're approaching, which will be 3 weeks away from the 100 game mark. I think we're game 2021 away, depending on if you have an off day or not, rain out or whatever have you. But for the teams that are hovering around 500 or just above. There's only 13 teams with winning records. I know we mentioned this way back when early on, but we're approaching that benchmark of coming near All-Star time.
Almost there.
A few weeks away from that. Yep. And, who's going to be buying, selling, or just in a bidding war that they're going to just keep it interesting and nothing will happen.
It's always such an interesting time in the MLB season because you really find out who's, I guess, which front office. I always find out. I always think it's which front office really believes in the team that they have. That's kind of the way I see it, or who really look at us
That's
today.
Our theme.
But which front office really, I guess, wants to send a message to the team that they believe in them there. But I compiled a few things. Now that we're kind of close to the halfway point of the season, we're not there yet, but we're getting close. And the first one I want to touch on is close to home for you, quite literally. Paul Skenes. Let's touch on him because you talk about the All-Star break.
You want to talk about Skenes?
The last show we had, we talked about whether or not if he stays on the pace that he's currently on, if he keeps pitching like he is, should he be an All-Star even though he hasn't, been up in the show as long as, maybe some of the other pitchers to gain some of those innings, whatever. He has been continuing that pace. 33.7% K rate. That's insane. And to only a 4.4% walk rate to go with a 2.14 ERA and a whip under 1.99.
He's making it look easy, man. He's
doing
making
all
it
of that
easy.
while averaging, 99 on the fastball. So he is must-see television at this point.
It's all right.
And that splinker that he's got, dude, that might be the best pitch in Major League Baseball, I think. It's got a case, at least, right?
It's insane. And I will say this, out of all the teams that I pay attention to, and like I said, I'm embarrassed to say I can't say that I know every single team the way that I would like to know, because
that's what you got me for.
I mean, that's just like I got you for. I'm in Little League Baseball too, and I'm trying to just bob and weave and get this in and place a couple bets on FanDuel so me and my kids can have a little fun. But I do want to focus on the Buccos, because out of all the teams that I think are out there, they are the sexiest in the sense that they got 3 power arms, right?
Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, and Skenes. Yeah.
Keller, and those 3. And that's dangerous in a wild card situation, which I think, well, I'll hold that thought. I think they need to go back to the one-game wild card, and that's because everybody says it's not fair. I go, well, it's not fair for the division winners, which happened last year. If you're a Braves fan, if you're a Dodgers fan, and if you were an Orioles fan, there's no way you need a week off. So, sorry. If you're a wild card, you get your one bite, and good luck. Play better next time.
I agree.
Play better.
Yep.
So, but with these guys in the front of the rotation, with a bullpen, and like I said, man, Chapman's kind of surprising me in the sense that if he could cut down his stinking walks, the guy is a machine. I mean, nobody should be hitting the power that he brings to the table. And if somebody charges the mound, I definitely want to watch that. But yeah, he's statistically, man, it doesn't always shake out. He makes me a little bit nervous because, like I said, I don't know, maybe he can't control. Maybe he could put a little more tack on the ball. He could hang on to it longer and put it in the strike zone. But controlling 100 plus,
not easy.
Good God, I'd love to learn what that weapon feels like.
But the Buccos are interesting to finish out your point.
The Buccos are interesting, man. And I'm hoping my boy Bednar, he's got a strained oblique. Maybe he was at the spread table too long. I'm just joking on. I don't know what he did, but that sucks. That's an injury that takes a long time. It hurts when you just even trying to relax and do your business.
Well, before that strained oblique, he was pitching a lot better. So that's a good sign.
It's a good sign, and luckily they've got a deep bullpen where
Colin Holderman has been phenomenal for them. That was the worst trade in Mets history, by the way. Colin Holderman for Daniel Vogelbach.
Yeah, sorry about that.
God.
I love that kid. Yeah, he's been here at the Turnbull Ranch hanging out. Good guy. He plays some video games with my son every now and again. But good dude, man, and great stuff. I mean, I'm glad we got him because he's picking up for his boy that needs a little time off to recover. So again, when these guys and G1 Bay, there's a catalyst. We talk about doing the little things. Every team, base running. When your team's down, you're missing a piece. You have to step up and do other little things to win a ball game. And I think these teams that are around, if you're 2.5 games out of the wild card, or you're 2.5 up, or you're within striking distance with, let's just say 20, 21 games to go. What kind of things are you going to do to step up?
Yeah. Well, that's a great segue to the next, little snippet I wanted to touch on here, and that's the red hot Mets, baby. My Mets, because
Happy Meals for everybody.
Damn right. The Grimace Mets are hot in the streets. And I think, it's interesting since that you talk about guys stepping up, ever since that incident where it seemed like they hit rock bottom, Jorge Lopez throws his glove after leaving the game or getting ejected.
You had some sleepless nights.
Yeah, it was not a fun time to be a Mets fan. They were the laughingstock of Major League Baseball. But since then,
a little bit of therapy goes a long way.
And that was May 29th. They were 11 games under 500, 22 and 23. Since then, they held that players only meeting. Since then, they're 15-6. They've been phenomenal. And everyone's asking the question: was it Grimace? Is it the bats? But I think it's the bats, if you want to look at that. And it's guys that you expect to step up have stepped up. Francisco Lindor moved to the leadoff spot. He's had the highest WAR in the National League since May 18th. What were you going to say? Go ahead before I get nerdy.
No, I was just going to say, no, it's fine. I just had something like Howard Sternish just happened to me. My allergies suck right now. And then when I was laughing, I shot a snot rocket right on my thing. It came out like a Paul Skenes.
I didn't see it, but I'm gonna have to when I edit this. I'm gonna look and see if I can.
If that makes public, I mean, I might not have a chance in heck at a next date, dude. If I'm out, I'm eligible bachelor, and that's not gonna help my cause,
boy, all right,
bro. But I got some sweet hands,
I'll be
dude.
kind to you there. I love that. But one of the interesting things.
It's sitting right here, guy. It's sitting right here.
Do you have a napkin or something that you could wipe it up with? What is?
No, I'm not going to go there. I'm just teasing.
Can I finish my baseball rant and then we can worry about your boogers?
We're talking about the Mets. Just because you got Cool City Connect things and you guys are purple and the purple guy comes out, now we're all like, oh, we're happy now.
That's
happy
right.
Meals.
We are happy.
I mean, really, and then they're gonna be sulking.
No.
All-Star break. Like, what happened?
I'm telling you right now. We'll see how my mood changes in a week, but right now, I think that it looks and feels like a different team to me right now. And a lot of that, like I said, has to do with the offense. Nimmo, 172 weighted runs created plus in June. He's been phenomenal since going on the worst stretch of his career that I've seen. JD Martinez is as professional of a hitter as it gets, and he's been phenomenal for this offense.
That's what I mean. You got some experience in that lineup, and I think just sometimes it takes people a minute to gel. Maybe they had some good team dinners. Maybe they figured out like, hey, the chemistry came together. And whoever brought that together, maybe there's a story. Can
I ask you a question about that? Because you touched on something that's really interesting. And I want to know, given your experience in a big league clubhouse, when you have one of the statistics that I saw that's really interesting, the Mets are, I believe, 19-2 in Francisco Alvarez's last 21 games or whatever. He got hurt after the first portion of the season. He was hurt for a little over a month. Since they got him back, that's when they've been red hot. And like I said, 19-2 in his last 21 games. Is it possible for one player to make that big of a difference, or is it more so like the energy that he's bringing? Could it? And then it's kind of in.
Well, what are we made up of? There you go. Okay,
go ahead.
Time out.
Bring him.
Okay, we're gonna go back to Willie Mays. What did he bring? Energy, aura. Right? We're all energy.
Aura. I like that.
We go back to energy. Right? We have an aura. We have a presence. We have if you bring a negative sense to yourself, do you attract or do you repel?
Sure.
Okay? So, to your point, somebody could change the complex, the dynamic of a room. Somebody walks in, you're like, oh, and you could bring in, and this is awesome, where do your video editing here. There's a show that used to be like Boys in the Hall. What was it called? It was called The State. It was on MTV way back when, about when I was in college. So 97, 98, 99, somewhere in there. No. Yeah, like 95, 96, 97, The State.
I'm excited to see where this goes here.
There was a guy called Louie, and they were like, the party was dead. The party was boring. They were just eating chips, and everybody's like, "Yo, where's Louie? Is Louie coming to the party?" He's like, "What do you mean? Where's Louie?" So this Louie would bring.
He brought the energy.
Balls. He brought energy, but he had these two balls, and he goes, "Who's got something for me? What is it?" And he goes, "I want to dip my balls in it." So he changed the whole atmosphere of the room. They even did a segment when it was the Last Supper with Jesus going to die on the cross, and the disciples were looking for Louis. So if you're asking me a question, it's on The State. It's just in a 2-minute segment.
How about
Somebody coming to the clubhouse could change. If they were losing and all of a sudden they're winning, what do they do? Figure out how to play baseball?
But it's not that. Like, obviously, they all know how to.
They're having fun, man. They're grown men learning to go, hey, we need to put this together. It's more fun to win. So what are we going to do? Fool around, go together, have some dinner, create some team bonding chemistry. It happens.
Because that was what I was going to ask. In a Major League clubhouse, what happens to make that shift? Is it exactly like you're saying? You go out to dinner a little bit more, hang out a little bit more, get drunk together? I don't know what. I've never been in a Major League clubhouse.
So give
me an example.
I can't believe this is coming up because I was thinking about this today. I was with the Texas Rangers for the first go around. I was with Josh Hamilton. Everybody knows kind of Josh Hamilton's story. Josh couldn't come out with us many times. Long and short of it, I said, Josh, I'm reading your book. I'm trying to learn about you. Like I said, even if it's not Willie Mays, I'm learning about my teammate. We wrote a book. I'm going to find out a little bit about him. And he said if he wanted to fill in the details, he'd fill me in some more stuff that wasn't in the book. So I said, hey, man, I know you can't come and hang out with us post-game, but if you ever want to just go to breakfast, go to a movie, whatever, read the Bible in your room, whatever you do, man, you need a wingman for a minute, call me. Let me know. Nice. I'll go with you. So he invites me to breakfast. And we were in Arizona, interleague play. And I'd love to have Josh on the show for this one. So we go to breakfast, but, when you're in the bullpen, you either have a good night, because your time went on celebrating the bullpens, this or that, and you hang together, or you're sulking because you're going to be on ESPN for the worst thing that ever's happened to you. So I don't remember what kind of night it was, but I forgot that I already committed to Josh. I was out with my bullpen friends, and I'm falling into my bed at probably about 2, 3 a.m. going, oh, no, I got to wake up. Josh asked me to breakfast. Now, the poor guy, I had to wear my hat low, right? And we were in the middle of an 8-game losing skid. Okay, this is a Seinfeld episode. So I go to breakfast with him. I have my hat down like this. I'm trying to eat because I might have had a couple too many social sparklers, and I'm trying to hide as I'm eating my pancakes and sausage and everything. But before I did that, just to give you a state that I was in, I was pouring what I thought was the syrup on my pancakes, and he's looking at me. He's looking under my hat going, it was actually the coffee. So I was like, Josh, I'm so sorry, man. I don't mean to offend you. I apologize. Let's just carry on. He was laughing. He goes, it's all right, Grill. So we go on. We go to get a cab, and this is where the story gets really interesting. I'm with the Hammer. Josh Hamilton, I'm with the Hammer. He's got tattoos everywhere, but he's got, on one of his arms, he's got 2 hammers crisscrossed, right? And he's got Hammer, that's his nickname. And we just happened to roll up on a guy at a traffic light. He must have robbed a Home Depot or a Lowe's or whatever. He's got hot hammers in his hand. He's selling them. So I go, cabby, stop. I go, yo, man, come on over. I roll down the window. He goes, Grill, what are you doing? I go, Josh, you never know when you're going to need a hammer, bro. And I meant a curveball, right? So the guy's like, you want 18 or 22? I said, what do you mean? I just want one. He goes, how much? $5? I said, yeah. He goes, no, do you want 18 ounce or 22 ounce? I go, same price? I go, I'll get more for my money. Give me a 22 ounce. So I bought this long stem 22-inch hammer. I'm going through, like I said, we lost 8 games. It's miserable. The clubhouse is like, it's just a bad air. You can't wait to kick it over. It's hard to put on music, get the energy up. You're like, so until you win, right? Losing's got that vibe. So I'm sitting there and I go by the video guys. I'm banging the thing. I'm banging the walls. The guys are like, what's going on? So I told everybody the same thing I just told you right up until game time. Now going out, I got the hammer with the prong like this, long stem. I'm carrying my bag of tricks with my bands and my 5-hour energy and my toiletry kit that I got for the Player Choice Award. Still at it with Gillette on the side. People are like, yo, Grill, why do you have the fans were like, why do you have a hammer? Well, out of the right field corner in Arizona, right? If you've ever been to Chase Ballpark, Baxter, there's Lindsey Bear. How you doing, Linz? Gotta call you back. Baxter rips out of the bullpen door with the flag, the Arizona Diamondbacks flag on a go-kart. Hits the door, man. The bullpen door, bends the pin. Andy Hawkins, our bullpen coach, is going, Grill, Grill, hurry up. They couldn't shut the door. They couldn't find the clubhouse guy. Hey, take my hammer. He goes, ting, ting, bends the pin back, shuts the bullpen door. So game time starts at 7:05. I said, do you see, guys? You never know when you're going to need a hammer. We went on to win 8 games in a row. I equated to the hammer. Okay? So if something can change the context, I don't know. I don't want to say I did it. It wasn't me. It was the hammer. So it sounds just like Grimace.
The moral of the story.
So can something change?
Have some fun. Yeah.
Please. 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 It's 162. If you're not having fun, I don't know what the hell you're signing up for, because it's painful to have a paycheck, even if it's got a couple extra commas and zeros in it, if you're having a miserable day.
What a great story that was. I love that. That is great.
So
that's great.
That's my best story. That was a G-rated version, and I kept it clean. Did I not?
Yeah, I think so. Social sparklers. That's a good name for alcohol. That's what I'm going to start using now. Well, let's hammer out a couple more topics. See what I did there before we close out today's episode. But I want to talk about the Cleveland Guardians, who right now have the best winning percentage. They don't have the most wins, but they have the best winning percentage in baseball. Stephen Kwan, we talked about Luis Arias last year, almost hitting 400. Stephen Kwan, 389 right now with a 194 weighted runs created plus. The dude's unbelievable. What a find for the Cleveland Guardians out of Oregon State. Just an unbelievable.
And they're in a 2-2 ball game versus Baltimore. That's a good series right there.
Two good teams. Baltimore scuffling a little bit. They need this one here.
They are.
And how about this? They're all reliable. Jose Ramirez on pace right now for 43 homers, 147 RBIs, and 32 stolen bases. We do not talk about Jose Ramirez enough. He is awesome. David Fry, another player out of nowhere, hitting 310 this year, 525 slug, 425 on base. We talk about like unheralded breakouts, and the Guardians are so good at piecing together teams that are always competitive. But right now, I mean, this is a team that looks like, at the moment, in terms of their record, they look like a championship contending team. So
they do. And I picked the Twins. I know we had our predictions. Twinkies are, 9 games back, but half a game out of the wild card. That's why I said the Twins always find a way, man.
Twins always keep it
close. Ever since I played in that division, they keep it close. Yeah. So good on them. But yeah, you're right. The Guardians are they made some noise last year, but like I said, whatever's going on there, mojo is good.
And how about this? It's been a little bit since we've done it, but our stupid statistic of the week.
Oh, there we go.
Talking about the Guardians. The Guardians' bullpen has been unbelievable. Best bullpen in the league. Kate Smith, Sam Hengens, I think is how you say it. I could be butchering that. Hunter Gaddis, he's been awesome. But their closer, Emmanuel Clase, 3 earned runs in 37 1/3 innings pitched this year. That's hilarious. That's stupid.
So is he? So maybe he's figured out the right mix to hold on to that baseball. Maybe he's got the mix until they challenge.
103 with 10 to 12 inches of run doesn't hurt either.
But and I'm saying that. No, I know you're right. That facetiously, obviously. If you're not seeing it, you're not picking up the visual because you're listening. I'm being very sarcastic. Let's stop. Let's stop with this. I know. Let's stop the nonsense.
Last little.
I mean, you could pick a booger and roll it. That's sticky too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that one that you shot out of your nose earlier in this episode might sounds like
it looks it's sticking. It's sticking to my desk right now.
You got to do. Have you ever seen Everyone's Hero? Have you ever seen that? It's a cartoon baseball movie. Yeah. You've seen that, right? The booger ball. You remember the booger ball?
Yep.
The booger ball. There you go.
If you just know how to, use it, man. You got to, like pitching with a scuff. You got to know how to use it.
All right. Last topic here that I want to touch on before we get to kind of like we were talking about the 100 mark or whatever, the All-Star break, whatever we're talking about. Unheralded breakouts. I love this every year, seeing guys who break out. I'll start and then we'll be done with the Mets. Mark Vientos has been a revelation this year, and I think it's something that a lot of Mets fans kind of have to say they were wrong and tip their cap and just be like, hey, you got me, Mark Vientos, because I didn't have a whole lot of hope. But I think it goes to show what regular playing time does for a player. 148 WRC plus. He's got 7 homers in 125 plate appearances, or excuse me, I believe it's up to 9 now after the game last night against the Yankees, and they're playing him right now, so there's a chance I might have missed one here. But Jarren Duran has been great for the Red Sox. Christopher Sanchez has been phenomenal for the Phillies. Jordan Westberg on pace for almost 30 homers and 100 RBIs on the Orioles. We talked about, we haven't touched on the Astros in a little bit, but we will soon here. Ronel Blanco, 2.34 ERA, one of the best changeups in baseball, and he has been phenomenal through a no-hitter earlier this year.
Yes,
I believe it was his second or third start. I think it was his second start. I think you're right. Yeah, so I mean,
well, good on him for keeping it rolling, because people say, oh, it's all downhill from here, because what do you do?
Not for Ronel Blanco, baby.
But again, no, and like I said, our guy, I'm going to throw his name out one more time, Paul Skenes.
Yep,
everybody keeping it going. We have just started the start of awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of awesome stuff going on in baseball right now, and a lot of exciting stuff. What's something, before we close out the show, I'm putting you on the spot here. What is something that you're most looking forward to leading up to the All-Star break? I think I'll leave that kind of open-ended, because as a former player but now a fan, what do you like most about this time of the year?
Well, it's I mean, the dog days are following right after it, and I remember at the All-Star break, and the only one time I got to go, I was 23 short of Willie Mays appearances, but I remember how exhausting it was to go, and just all the energy and what I felt. I needed an All-Star break after the All-Star break, because it was so draining. So what I like to see is, how do guys come out of that are elected to go? If they can continue the pace, because it is a lot, and I don't know, having that one experience, I was just like in awe of things, and just like, oh my God, it was incredible. But what am I looking forward most to? Like I said, I think the trade deadline, seeing the difference of who's really in the mix. They start talking about trade deadlines and who's going for it. There's teams, like I said, if they've got the flavor right now and they got the formula, they're really not going to do much. And the teams that maybe are held on to for next year, again, I just find it weird. Is there going to be like a third wild card game or something, play-in game? There's going to be, because how can there only be 13 teams with winning records, dude?
There's a lot of mid around Major League Baseball right now.
So what is that? What is that?
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? And correct me. I'd like to know what you think about this. I think what it is something that you touched on earlier, where the incentive to win the division isn't as, it's not as big anymore, because because it's exactly, because as a baseball player and as a baseball team, you don't want a 5-game layoff, or however long it is, 5-day layoff before you have to play. So I think what you want to do, I think what a lot of these teams want to do, is just be good enough to get into the playoffs and then hope that you're playing well at the right time. That's that's how I see it. I think a lot of the teams. Well, then they should just have two divisions, American League, National League, and you take the top. If we're playing a tournament. If we're playing a tournament now, like a bracketed tournament, then they need to change the format, because you're trying to make something out of what used to be and combine it with something. Well, we don't want this because we don't want to piss everybody off, right? There's politics in sports. I don't like the changes. I like the changes. I want my game back. It's not my game anymore. I don't want to watch this. I've heard a lot of people say. Off the cuff baseball people, like, we're watching some double A level baseball with guys batting a buck something or other. Like, we're playing a different brand. Is it too much of a show? Is it, what are these differences? It is different. It's different. We're allowed to gamble on baseball. It's like all these things, these standards that used to be, the respect that used to be. I feel like we've just keep pushing that envelope.
Uniforms, you can wear as much jewelry as you want. Wear your buttons all the way down. Show your belly button if you want. I mean, heck,
old man yelling at cloud segment. Is this the
wear your jock strap over your pants? I mean, make it interesting. Wear it colorful. I mean, you can wear any color you want on your pads. I will say the Yankees, when they wear the Lady Liberty colors on
it's cool.
It makes
I like that.
That's
pops.
Cool, that's a cool
absolutely.
thing. It pops. It means, but that's all the City Connect, which I think is good for the fans. It makes that semblance of the unification of everybody. It's nice to see. Listen, man, it's what we say could be controversial. What we say is just an opinion. It's what keeps the reality TV going here. And I know, my man, you got to go do some push-ups or work on your, crow hops or whatever.
Respect.
For your league.
I like it. That's fine. I do have men's baseball league. That's right. We do our best.
Well, bring your hammer, bro. Bring your hammer, because you never know when you're going to need a hammer.
I will.
And maybe you bring some chemistry to your team. I want to find out. Or maybe a Happy Meal. Bring some nuggets and some dipping sauces. Party flavor. You just put them on the bench. You don't even need to eat them. Just have them there.
Some Grimace luck. I like that a lot. Well, people, hammer that subscribe button and hammer that follow button for the show. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll have tons of more content coming at you soon. We are excited. Very excited, if you can't already tell. So thanks so much for tuning in.
Brought to you by Kleenex.
Yeah. We wish. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And Home Depot.
We're making up sponsors at this point. It is what it is. Anyway, people, thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the show. Leave a like and a comment. Let us know what you think.
And get off my mound. Get off the mound. Get back to this thinking place, bro.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.